All right, let me give you back host. We are live.
Okay, thank you, Megan.
You're welcome. I'm gonna stay for a bit too for check-in.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class on Nextdoor. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. We'll see if anybody else wants to join us. Hey, Tracy.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Where are you from? Where are you from, Tracy?
Denver area, Denver, Colorado.
And I'm sorry, you're looking forward to?
Just learning more about this. I've been playing around on it, but I'm not sure how to post on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. There's so much. Actually, I had no idea how much there was that you could do with Nextdoor until I actually started teaching the class. And it's just tons of stuff you can do. Yeah, tons of stuff. Hi, Amy.
Hello. I'll be muted part of the time because I have dogs here that sometimes bark.
Not a problem. I have one right here at my feet, and he barks sometimes too. So,
okay,
not a problem.
Okay. Should I tell you why I'm here?
Sure. Yes, ma'am. Please do.
I had Nextdoor coming on my email constantly for a while, and now it's not there. Okay. And I never really learned to use it, but I, kind of perused it.
Right.
Now I'm finding that I need things like I'm going to need somebody to mow my lawn. I'm going to need, and so I need to get it back somehow.
Right.
And then I need to learn to use it.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm hoping in an hour I can get all that.
Okay. We'll see what we can do here in an hour's time. I will say this, when you go through the class, the best thing to do is to get back in there after you've seen all of the different stuff that it can do, is get in there and just surf around again and click on different things again and kind of get a feel for it and everything. But yeah, hopefully you'll have a good understanding of it when we get done with everything here.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing that, Amy. I appreciate it. Okay, we will go ahead and get started. My name is Cindy. I'm in Houston, and we're going to talk about Nextdoor, how to use it, what it is, and things like that. What I would like to do before I get started, part of the class will be via slideshow, and most of the class is actually going to be, we're going to jump out there on the web or app and take a look at it and learn how to use everything. I have a question or two here that I want to put up in the middle of your screen. You should see a question here. Do you have a Nextdoor account and a login? If you would just answer yes or no. I'm kind of getting a feel for the class and where we need to go with everything. Okay.
Log in or not? I guess not.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll, and it seems like if y'all can probably see the results right here. It seems like most everyone has a login. So we'll go from there. We'll go back through and actually, let me go ahead and clear this off of here. We'll go ahead and actually go through the login process. Are any of you using, those of you that are using Nextdoor, are you using the computer or are you using an app?
I'm using the app.
App, okay. Others,
Computer.
computer, okay.
I'm using both.
Both, okay.
Email.
Okay. Okay. So we'll talk about the app is set up a little bit differently. I'll say the computers has it kind of spread out a little bit more. It's basically the same stuff, but you'll see a little bit of the difference. I'm going to actually share my phone screen with us, with everybody as we get going through here, and we'll talk about the app as well as the computer. So part of the class is going to be a little bit of power slides, and the rest of it, as I said, will jump out on the internet. I'm going to go ahead and start with sharing my screen here, and hopefully you all can see my screen here about how to use Nextdoor. If I'm ever talking about something that you're not seeing on the screen, please let me know, because sometimes I inadvertently click on something and lose the screen, and I'm just talking away and everybody's like, what are you talking about? We're not seeing it. So just let me know. I want to say a little bit about Get Set Up before we get started. Hopefully all of you have been on some other classes, but if this is your first class, welcome. We're glad to see you here at Get Set Up. Ideally, we like for everybody to turn their cameras on, but I get it if you don't want to. There's some days where I wish I didn't have to turn my camera on either. We kind of interact with each other as we see each other, and kind of get a little bit more out of it as we can see each other's body language and discuss things. With wearing a mask for the last year or so, it's kind of hard to, it's good to be able to see people smile again. This class is being recorded. Hi, Emma. Class is being recorded, and if you would like to get a copy of the recording of the class, you can do so. All you have to do is email help@getsetup.io. Tell them what class you attended and tell them the day you attended on, and they will send you a link to the video where you can watch the class over and over. What I generally tell people to do is after they go through this class and get out there and play with Nextdoor a bit and have more questions, to come back to the class again on another day and bring those questions. And it helps all of us learn more about Nextdoor and helps me learn how to teach the class even better. There's so many things out there that you can do. And I learn something from every class that I teach on this.
Cindy, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So my question is, I purposely don't use any social media, but I am on Nextdoor, and I'm not clear how much like social media it is in terms of information sharing,
right,
or data mining, or stuff
right.
like that. Can you address that, please?
I sure will. And in fact, that's a really good question. And a lot of people, that's probably why they don't use Nextdoor, because they're very concerned about people knowing their phone number, knowing their email address, knowing their actual physical address, things like that. I will say Nextdoor is very good as opposed to other social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, in that it keeps everything internally. It doesn't share any of that. So as you go through and interact with your neighbors, even email them, things like that, it does not give anybody your email address. It does not give anybody your phone number, nothing like that. It's very, very much contained within Nextdoor itself. There is a place where you can actually set up, if you want to even get emails from Nextdoor, you can even manage that yourself too. So it's very different than like the Twitters and the Facebook and things like that. It is like Facebook in the sense that there is a news feed that runs through the beginning of it. And then there's all kinds of other things too. But basically there's your neighborhood news feed that runs when you open up the app or jump on the computer. And what you see in that news feed, you have the opportunity to control that too, based on what your settings are. And we'll look at some of that too. But Nextdoor is very safe and secure. I'll have to say that. And we're going to talk about security issues and how to set those settings so that you can actually select how you want other people to see a few things on there. Okay, hopefully that helps. Okay, good deal. All righty, so let me go back to the screen share here. One last thing I want to say about Get Set Up is we're not paid to promote any kind of specific products or anything like that, even though we do mention a lot of different products and everything. And as you guys go through different classes, spread the word about Get Set Up. Let your friends, family know, church groups know about Get Set Up, what all we do, what all we teach. All kinds of stuff out there, everything from line dancing to meditation to how to use computers, all kinds of stuff. So just share, get set up info with everybody and see if you can get more people come on board. Also, if you would like to host an interest group, just let us know by, again, sending an email to help it get set up. And perhaps maybe you're a quilter or something like that, and you would like to do an interest group meeting on quilting or something. Just let us know. We'd love to have you do something like that. Lastly, I'm going to send a follow-up email to this class. It'll look kind of something like this. There'll be some class notes out there. I will have some key takeaways from the class today, highlights of what we talk about. It'll have a suggestion for some other classes that you might be interested in. And also there'll be a link to a feedback section that'll look something like this, where you can leave us feedback. You can rate the session itself. You can rate the instructor or the guide. And you can also down here free text and put in any other comments or how to improve the class or other classes you'd like to see or things like that. The ratings default to 4, but you're welcome to give us something lower than a 4. You're welcome to give us something higher than a 4. It's entirely up to you. So you'll be seeing a follow-up email after the class too. Okay, here's our agenda. We're going to talk a little bit about what Nextdoor is. We'll talk about how to set up an account. There's a couple of you that may not have an account already. We're going to talk about introducing yourself to Nextdoor, to your neighborhood, which is kind of a fun thing to do. And then, as was asked earlier, Laurie was asking us about guidelines, policies for using Nextdoor, and how to stay safe. Okay, questions on the agenda, or would anybody else like to throw out there what they'd like to get out of the class today? Okay, feel free to unmute yourself and jump in at any point in time when we're talking about anything. I want this to be a very interactive class, and of course, asking questions will help everybody. So the more questions that we have or comments, a lot of you have already been using Nextdoor and might even be able to shed some light on some things that I'm not even aware of. All righty. Sure, go ahead.
I am on Nextdoor, but I have not been able to use it recently because when I tried to log in, it did not accept my login, and they sent me an ID code, and they sent it to me at least about 15 times, and it never worked. So I'm stuck there. I can't get in. I get the information on the email, but I only get the intro. When I click on to get the additional information, I have to log in, and I can't get it.
Okay. So when they send you, when you click on forgot password or something like that, they send you an email so that you could reset your password?
No, they sent me a special code to log in.
Okay. And that doesn't work for you?
They sent it to me, and I've done at least 15 times, about at least 15 times. It never worked. And I could not find a number to call or go with this. So when I saw this workshop, I said, this is perfect.
Okay. And yes, I do have a link that I can send everybody on how to contact Nextdoor. It's, you know, most all sites have a contact us, and it actually pulls up where you can email them. You can put your specific question in there and tell them my code never works. And hopefully they'll be able to give you suggestions. One thing you might try, it may already recognize an email on your account, but have you changed emails that you're using since you started using Nextdoor?
No, same email.
Okay. You can always go in and try to set up your login again, like brand new. Just go to nextdoor.com, and when the login screen comes up, just put in your email address and your address to your home and see if it'll allow you to set up another one. And then you could set up a whole new passcode. Just remember that new login information. You can try that. I don't know if it will work or not, but you could give that a try too. But I do have a contact link where you can email them and tell them what's going on and the issues that you're having.
And nextdoor.com?
It is, but the email, let me see one second here. Let's see. Let me go back here and pardon me, I'm going to scroll through a bunch of slides real quickly here. And let's see here. This is the community guidelines. Here's the link right here to contact Nextdoor. It's nextdoor.com, but it's got all this stuff after it. So I will make sure that that's included in that follow-up email. And when you click this link, it should actually take you to a form where you actually can send them an email.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So we've done a prior knowledge check. We know where everybody is. Here's a slide on what is Nextdoor. And Nextdoor is basically Facebook for your neighborhoods, with the exception of it's very secure. And it's not like social media in the other respect. But the way that it's set up is a lot like Facebook. It's a neighborhood hub. All of the neighbors can work together to build stronger neighborhoods, safer neighborhoods. And it's used all over the world, not just in the United States. So not really sure how long Nextdoor has been out there, but it's been out there for several years. And it's growing and growing all the time, constantly growing. So these are some of the things you can do on Nextdoor, and this is just a smattering of the things you can do. You can email your neighbors. As I said, I'll show you how to do that. They will not see your email address, and you will not see their email address. The messaging is all done within Nextdoor, and you get notifications whenever someone has sent you a private message. You can advertise your business on Nextdoor. If you have a business and you want to send advertising out there, you can do that too on Nextdoor. And this comes in handy when a lot of people have businesses that maybe they're small businesses and they do home repairs, things like that. They do plumbing. Nextdoor is used quite a lot for recommendations on people to help in the neighborhood, because generally speaking, the neighborhoods know who some of the good people are to use. So Amy, this will come in handy for what your question was. Another thing is you can report neighborhood safety issues. This is probably one of the biggest things that I look for in Nextdoor. We all keep everybody else posted of suspicious activity going on in the neighborhood, or if we see a suspicious car, or if there was some kind of a break-in somewhere. We all stay apprised of all of that info. A lot of people nowadays have Ring video doorbells. You can actually upload videos from these Ring cameras. We had one, I actually was involved in one where someone came to my house around 3 o'clock in the morning and just was ringing the doorbell. And of course it woke me up. I didn't answer anything, but I was able to watch on the Ring video. And it was just a young lady standing there, and she rang the doorbell 2 or 3 times. And of course, nobody answered. She left. So I took that video and I actually uploaded it to Nextdoor. And I just said, just be aware, last night someone rang my doorbell at 3 a.m. And come to find out, this person hit several other homes around the area too, ringing their doorbells too, the guy across the street, things like that. So that's kind of a handy way to kind of get information out there about what's going on in your neighborhood as far as safety goes. Another thing you can do is you can send neighborhood notifications if you're having a gathering in the neighborhood. I live in a neighborhood called Garden Villas, and it's actually a neighborhood that was built in a pecan orchard. And so we have pecan trees everywhere. There's anywhere from 3 to 5 pecan trees on every property out here. And every fall when we have a good pecan crops, we have a lot of visitors in the neighborhood naturally wanting to pick up pecans. And we also have a pecan fest. So out in the neighborhood, we'll send out through the Nextdoor app, we'll send out notifications about pecan fest is going to be October, blah, 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 this year, whatever, things like that. So if you have neighborhood parties, things like that, you can also send those kind of notifications. You can sell things on Nextdoor. You can buy things on Nextdoor. You can see business advertisements on Nextdoor. You can get weather alerts on Nextdoor. You can get COVID information on Nextdoor. There's everything out there, and hopefully we'll be able to touch on a little bit of all of that.
So Cindy, what
Yes.
is your process for people asking questions? Are you going to ask us for questions? You want us to raise our hand? What would you like?
Yeah, just jump in and talk. Just go ahead. Just when you have a question, just jump in.
Can you go back to the previous slide, please?
Sure.
Thanks. So when I use Nextdoor, there's a news feed. I guess that's what you call it. Is the news feed? Okay. Things like people advertise their business on the news feed or report. They do all of this on the news feed. Are there other tabs, or if that's the correct word, within Nextdoor that you're going to go over, or is all of that in the news feed?
You can, it depends on what you subscribe to as to what's in your news feed. It also depends on how many neighborhoods you follow as to what's in your news feed. Of course, the more neighborhoods you follow, the more different types of things you're going to see in your news feed. I see so many things for sale and for free and stuff in my news feed. And you really have to kind of customize that to what you want, because a lot of times I get on there and I'm like, I just want to see what's going on in the neighborhood. I don't want to know about the new businesses or whatever. And actually you can select just to see what's in just your neighborhood, or the other neighborhoods too. And I'll definitely show you that too.
But I guess what I'm asking is, so is there a tab within Newsfeed just for people to advertise their businesses?
There is, and it's actually not a tab in there. There's a main menu on Nextdoor. Do you use a computer or an app?
I use both.
Okay.
Mostly the computer though.
Okay. So when you get on nextdoor.com, all of the main menu is off on the left-hand side. You can scroll through there, and there's a tab for businesses. There's a tab for safety. There's a tab for lost dogs. There's a tab for lost and found. There's a tab for all kinds of stuff.
Okay, I guess it's because I get it in my email. And it's just the news feed, so I don't.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
And to me,
I'll let you proceed with the rest of the presentation.
No problem. Lord, just jump in anytime. It doesn't matter, because the questions that you ask, it helps all of us learn. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
When you got a question, just jump on in. But yes, there's so much that you can see in your newsfeed out there, and I'll show you where you can find some things specifically. So who can join Nextdoor? Basically, anybody can join. If you own or rent a home in a particular neighborhood, you can have an account in that neighborhood as well as the neighborhood that you physically live in. You just have to have 2 separate accounts for those homes, and you have to remember your logins for each of those Nextdoor accounts. If you own a second home, you can have an account for that neighborhood that your second home is in. If you've purchased new property recently, you're planning to build a home, you can have an address, have a Nextdoor account for that new area as well as the area you're currently living in. Rental property, like I said, anywhere in the neighborhood. If you have maybe a family member that you're helping take care of that's in another state or something, you can actually even set up an account in the other state to keep up with that neighborhood. It just has to be a separate account that you set up. So we'll go through quickly. This is a lot of words here, but just quickly how to get on your account Nextdoor. When you go to nextdoor.com, you have put in your email address and you put in your residential street address. Now, the reason for this is they verify that you are who you really say you are. They make sure that your name is actually connected to that physical address of your home, because what they don't want is they don't want somebody on there doxing other people or acting as if they are somebody else. Because as you could imagine in the neighborhood, that could be a lot of trouble. If somebody logged on and said that they were me and started posting things, and it could get my account deleted and things like that. So they're very good about verifying that you are actually who you say you are. Now, once you enter your residential street address, you can't use a PO box because they can't verify that. Once you enter your street address and your email address, you're going to get an email, which is going to walk you through verifying your account. And it will verify your street address, and it will also prompt you to verify your email address. So do that as soon as you get that email when you sign up. Go ahead and confirm that email address so that you can post and do things like that. If for some reason you forget to verify your email address, you can still get on Nextdoor, but you'll see a red banner up at the top of your news feed reminding that you haven't verified your email address yet. You'll also have to verify your Nextdoor, address by Nextdoor, going to nextdoor.com/verify. And this also should be included in that original email that you get. So when you put in, it's going to ask you to select to verify by code. And this is going to be a 2-factor authentication. You will need to put your cell phone number in there. They will send you a text. You will use that, the code in there to actually put in so that you receive, you'll receive that SMS text, put in that code, and then it will verify your actual address. So, and it's all self-explanatory. Once you join, you'll see all of that. So once you've joined, the next thing to do is introduce yourself to the neighborhood. And this is just kind of a sample message here where people introduce themselves and say, hi neighbors, my name's Sally Smith. I just moved to the neighborhood. My husband, Trent, and I have 3 kids, 2 dogs. We love hiking and cooking. Hope to see you around the neighborhood. Now, the fun thing about introducing yourself is you'll get people to respond to you that'll say, welcome, Lori, to the neighborhood. Hope to see you around the neighborhood or something like that. So that's kind of the fun thing to do. You don't have to put all this kind of information in there. You don't even really have to introduce yourself, but it's just kind of a fun thing to do to let your neighbors know that you're now on Nextdoor. You can just say, hi, I'm Cindy. I live on Prentice Street and I just joined Nextdoor, something like that. You don't even have to say the street if you don't want, but you can just say, hi, I'm Cindy. I just joined Nextdoor. And other people in the neighborhood that know you will know that they can now stay in touch with you in Nextdoor. Okay. Any questions so far? Any others? Go ahead, Donna. Donna Marie, go ahead. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
There you
looking at my profile and it actually gives my street, which I'd rather not have. How do I change that?
I'll show you that when we get on it here in just a second. It's got your specific street address on it. It's showing that.
Yeah, not the number of the building, but just the street.
Right. You want to show just the street, right?
I want to take off the street.
Oh, you can't. You have to at least show your street that you're on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, but you can definitely take off that address so they don't know where on the street you live.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So I'm going to take a look at some community guidelines, just a little bit more about Nextdoor, and then we'll jump onto the website and look at the app and things like that. Also, these are a bunch of websites that we're going to talk about. I'm going to share with you in the follow-up email. I actually have a video of like a Good Morning America or something talk, and it's an interview with the CEO and co-founder of Nextdoor, and it's kind of interesting. I'll send you that. You can look at it on your own and see a little bit more about why Nextdoor was developed. Yes.
So I live on a street that's literally 1 block long and doesn't have a lot of houses on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way that I can, and I have not gone in to see what information is available about me. So I was grateful for Donna Marie bringing that up. So there's nothing I can do about that. I live in a smallish town.
Yeah, no, the street that you live on will actually always show. And the reason for that is there's lots of ways you can contact neighbors. It could be that someone just needs to know everybody that lives on one particular street.
So excuse me for interrupting. So when my newsfeed, what I get is the neighborhood. I don't get people's streets. Isn't that what shows? I guess I just assumed that that's what would show.
It doesn't show, but there's a way that you can go in and find out what streets people live on. Because for instance, I see a post that says, my German Shepherd got out. Please help me find him. Well, okay, what part of the neighborhood do you live in? I can go in and look at that person's name and see, oh, I see they live on Evans. Okay, so that's the street right across from me. Let me help her look for her dog, something like that.
Okay, well, people, when that comes up, they say, I live on Brown Street. And then people, so I guess I just didn't realize that was.
Is there a difference between whether it's on your profile or whether it's on exposed to people? I think that's maybe the difference.
It is. They have to dig to find that street that you live on. They have to dig a little bit, but it's easy,
just
very
on
easy
the
to
profile.
do.
It's just on the profile.
Correct. Or if you go in to try and contact a specific neighbor, it shows, I believe it shows the street that they live on. But yes, the profile itself does show, like mine shows a picture I uploaded and it says Prentice Drive.
But that profile is not shown to everyone. That's just your profile. Is that correct?
The specific profile isn't, but when you go into Nextdoor, in fact, let's see, let me just share a screen with you quickly. While I'm here and show you what it is that I'm talking about. Let's see, I don't think that's the screen I wanted to show. Nope. Let me find my other screen and I'll show you.
It just sounds like Zoom has, you have a profile and other people don't see everything that's on your profile. They only see certain things. I mean, they only see your name when you show up on Zoom. So is that the way this is, that it's for their records that it's in the profile?
No, it shows your name and the street that you live on.
Everywhere.
It does. Quickly, let me find why I'm not seeing what it is.
Does it show your address? I mean, the number?
No, you can actually change that where you do not see the number.
And you can't lie, can you? I mean, can you put in a false street? No, because they verify.
No, correct. That's absolutely correct. You can't lie because they do verify everything, as I said earlier, to make sure that you really are who you say you are. Are you guys seeing my screen right here yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so when you go up here, like for instance, this is just the basic Nextdoor screen when you go to your news feed on there. And if you see a picture, if you actually click on a picture, which everybody can do, this here takes you to settings. But, and true, if you look at profile, then it does tell you what street or what neighborhood or whatever. This right here shows, if I click profile, it shows Prentice Drive. And that's the name of the street that I live on. It shows a little map of the neighborhood and it shows the street that I live on. So it's there and it's easy to find. On the app, it's set up a little bit differently, but it's easy to find. And that is just part of it. But yes, it's not, nowhere in here does it really say, unless you surf around in Nextdoor and know it and how to use it easily, do you know where to go and find,
So Cindy, this was your choice. I see add home phone, add mobile. You chose not to put any of that information in there.
Right. Right. This is
Okay.
because there's a section you can go to and select what you want others to see.
Okay, but you did put your email, but you didn't have to do that either, I'm guessing.
No, I don't think I had to. I know you have to enter email just because they verify that and they use it for two-factor authentication, as well as they have that internally so that neighbors can email each other.
I was thinking that you only got the person's street address if they were in your actual immediate neighborhood, but if they're in a surrounding one that you're looking at, you only see their name and their neighborhood.
And that could very well be true. Let me go down here and take a look. I'm really jumping ahead. Sorry for that, but trying to answer things. This is where you can go in and find all of the people that are your neighbors. And on the left-hand side here, this is the main menu that we're going to go through and talk about all of this. And this is another way that if you can go in, you can see all these people and what street they live on. And this, yes, is showing just the neighbors in my neighborhood, no matter what letter I click on up here. These are people that just live in my neighborhood.
How did you get to that? I'm sorry, if you have a chance to show, or you can show it later.
No, it's on the main menu on the left-hand side. It's neighbors.
Oh, neighbors.
And when you click on neighbors, it shows, let's say I know someone that lives on Brace Street. You can actually sort the way you see them. I have it sorted with first name first. If you click this little arrow, you can sort it by showing last name first. Or if I want to know everybody that lives on my street, I can select street name and go in here and click on P. And this shows everybody that lives on Prentice is the only P drive that we have in my neighborhood, but this shows everybody that lives on Prentice Drive.
So these are just okay, that are on Nextdoor, not everybody, just people,
Correct.
Everybody who's on Nextdoor.
Absolutely.
Which is still pretty out there. Okay, go ahead.
It is. It is. Okay, so let's see, while we're out here, let me just go ahead and I wanted to look briefly. Let's see how we're doing on time.
Is that on your phone also?
Yes, all of this stuff is on your phone also. It's just arranged a little differently.
Under home, it doesn't show that. So how do you find that?
Under what it doesn't show it?
Under home, I'm on my phone and I'm in the app. And it just shows me.
If you're on the app, you have to, in order to see this over here, all of this on the left-hand side, you have to tap on the three little dots in the bottom right-hand corner of the app. When you do that, it will open up this whole big menu here.
I get profile when I tap on the three dots.
On the app?
Yes.
Not sure. Are you on an Android, an iPhone? Not sure why that's happening that way.
iPhone.
Okay, not sure why that's happening. I'll show you what it should look like when you actually get there.
I just tapped on those three dots and I got more, and it shows that home menu.
Right, that's what you should be seeing. Right.
Yeah.
I tapped twice. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna send. Let me go ahead and see if I can get through this, so then we can start doing some specific things on the app too. This is a link I'm going to send you. And basically what it is, it's a link of everything that we've already gone over so far. It's the help page or the fact page for Nextdoor. There's clickable links on here everywhere. The left-hand side of this page is everything that we've gone over so far about setting up your account, verifying everything, introducing yourself. And then on the left-hand side over here, this is a whole lot of other good information about all of these are clickable links, and they have clickable links inside of them. One of the good things to do after I send you this link and we're done with the class, go in and click on the guidelines and policies. And when you click on the guidelines and policies, it actually pulls up this page. And each one of these is a clickable link about things to do when you're using Nextdoor. It's just kind of some basic guidelines, talks about what's allowed. And if you click on the down arrow, each one of these subdivisions here opens up a ton of other clickable links. You can go through a million rabbit holes if you so desire. Community guidelines. This part talks about what's allowed, how they want to see things, how they want to make sure the COVID-19 information is correct information, not any misleading information. Here's a section on handling conflicts, because I will say that occasionally there's a hot topic that's being debated in the neighborhood, and sometimes things get a little out of hand and people get kind of passionate about what they're saying. So you can send posts to your moderators. The moderators are people that constantly monitor the site to make sure there's no inappropriate content or anything out there. But this talks about handling conflicts. Now here's a whole section on your account privacy, which is very good. And each one of these is a lot on here about how to stay safe, a lot about phishing, spam, scams, a lot about how to appropriately and safely pick up something you purchased from a neighbor, things like that. So this is a very good section to look at about your account privacy. And then here's the whole section on online safety in general.
So I do have a question, Cindy. So when I went into, I can't even, whatever we were talking about before, and it told me to turn on my location services. I have my location services turned off for everything.
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to.
No, but my question is, can people still find me if my location services are turned off, especially if I'm using a laptop as well as a tablet?
They will still be able to go in there and see your street that you live on.
Well, I'm looking at a map, with my star where my house is. So,
Yeah. If you don't want to do that, then Nextdoor probably isn't for you. Because
Okay.
it does show you, if they know how to get to those maps, it does show you where the house is. Now it doesn't show exactly who's next to you or things like that. But it does, there are places in there where it shows a star where your house is.
Okay, thank you.
So I will send you this link on all of that. Let me go back out here and talk about the news feed. Let me see how I'm doing on time here. So we'll go back to your actual news feed. And when you land nextdoor.com, here's your home. This is your news feed right here in the middle. And you see all kinds of stuff here. If I have something I want to post, I can go right here and post it. All I have to do is click right here and it pulls up a form for me to just follow straight through as to what I want to post. I can choose a category, and it could very well be that I want to have something for sale or for free. I click for sale or for free. Then it takes me to what local area it just walks me through everything. What category is this in?
I'm in the app and I clicked on home and it does not have post a message.
Okay, Lori, it's a little different. If you'll let me wait until I get to the app.
Okay.
You'll see that's the thing about it. The app is set up very differently than this. Okay. So if you're trying to follow along with me on the computer, you'll get a little lost.
I'm doing both.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, you can go ahead and post something right here. This is the easy way to get to it here. And there's different ways on the actual app. So this is your news feed. You can get all kinds of stuff in here. Here's some ads. Now, I will say Nextdoor does have companies that have paid ads on here because, of course, they have to pay for their site somehow to keep it running. So this is a paid ad from American Express. Here's something that's actually posted from Houston Police about some local crime safety in the neighborhood. You can go on through. This is a post that I'm getting from a group that I've joined. There are groups on Nextdoor that I'll show you, but this is basically your news feed. And this is a little advertisement about how many groups there are just in my neighborhood. If you're looking on your main menu over here, On the computer, you can go right into, if I want to see just mostly things that are in my neighborhood, I can click on Garden Villas. That's the name of my neighborhood. And it takes away a lot of that other stuff. Here's a post for someone looking for someone to help her with computers or something like that. These are just different things, but this narrows it down a lot to just stuff that's coming from my neighborhood. So yes, as Laurie, as you were talking about earlier on this map, if you click on map, it does show a map of the neighborhood. It takes a little bit to load here. And it shows a star exactly where my house is. So as it loads, you'll be able to see. This is my neighborhood here. And I can scroll in or scroll out, and here's the star right here. So here's Prentice Drive. And yes, somebody could tell that I live somewhere in between Caton Street and Dillon Street in here somewhere. So there's like 4 or 5 houses in here. So they could probably narrow me down to 2 or 3 houses. But that's as close as they would know, because they just know that I'm on Prentice Street right here if they were to see the map of my address. So let me go back a tab here. There also is a help map out here on Nextdoor, and a help map where people right here, people have offered in your neighborhood to be able to help others. If you click on the help map, it actually will show you some people in the area that are willing to help others with maybe a phone call, calling elderly just during the day to make sure everything's okay. If you see these dots here, again, the star is where my house is. If I click on one of these dots, it will tell me here's someone who's willing to help with running errands or picking up meds, groceries, or other essentials. Now, of course, you want to be very clear that you're comfortable with this person. You have to vet this person yourself to run errands like that for you. But we have a lot of elderly people in my neighborhood, and so we have a lot of people that are out there trying to help others. This is just a help map. So I'm just going to kind of go through the menu over here. Businesses, this is where, if you click on this, this is where businesses list their advertisings. If you're looking for someone to help you with some plumbing or something, all you have to do is go to the home page and post something on there that, you know, I'm looking for references for plumbers. Does anybody know anybody reasonable that does good work? Here is a for sale and for free. There's a lot of stuff on here. If you click on that, brings up a whole lot of stuff with a whole bunch of other listings. If you sell a lot on Nextdoor, you can actually categorize everything in just your listings. If you get on there and you just want to see things that you've listed, if you're interested in something, you can save it, kind of like an eBay watch list. Let's say I'm interested on this black bookshelf right here. If I want to click it, it pulls up information about it. And I can actually, if this person has it and I have questions about it, I can click right here and message the person that has it for sale. Now I'm going to click here and just show you an example of messaging a neighbor. This is actually tells me that I'm going to be sending a message to this person and what it's about. And I can enter my message right here. I can actually email myself a copy of the email that I'm sending her. And then I just click send and it will send it. So as you can see, I'm emailing this person, but I don't have a clue what her email address is or anything like that. And if she responds to you, it'll pull up the same thing with your name, telling them that they're sending an email to you. Doesn't show any email addresses or anything like that. So let me go back here and get off all the business listings and things for sale. Other category here. This is another category of just for sale and for free. Here's some local deals, things in your area. Maybe there's a car dealership having a big sale or something. Public agencies. If you click on the public agencies here, this has posts from different public agencies. Right here. This is mostly Houston Police. I'm getting some background noise from somebody somewhere. It's not muted.
I'm not muted. Not
okay.
me.
Okay.
It's not me though.
Okay. Going on down, here are some events. If there are any events going on in your neighborhood or nearby neighborhoods, you'll see them all listed here. This tells you a little bit where it is. So if you're looking for things to do out and around your neighborhood, you can click on the events. If you're looking for real estate in your neighborhood, this is where local realtors have actually paid for listings on Nextdoor, and it shows you real estate that's up for sale. I believe it also pulls up a map and shows your house and where other houses are for sale around your house For example, this is where I'm at. These are some houses that are for sale in my neighborhood right here. This pinkish color is my neighborhood. These are surrounding neighborhoods that are blue right here. Here's the safety tab, which is another good tab to look at off the main menu. Has all kinds of incidents here about safety issues that they've seen in other neighborhoods, even things from Houston police, as you can see down here. So safety is a very good area to look at. Here's a lost and found. If you have anything lost and found, you can click on that. It'll show things in your neighborhood, other neighborhoods, whatever. Documents may be something. In my neighborhood, we have deed restrictions. And so a lot of times people post deed restriction articles out here about how close your fence can be to the street and things like that. This is just a general tab with general topics. Now here's the fun part, groups right here. These are groups that are in Facebook. If you click on groups and pull up all groups, there are, like it said earlier, over 1,000 in just my neighborhood alone, groups. You can start a group or you can join a group with someone of similar interests. Groups I belong to: Houston Garage Sales, Mental Health Matters, Garden, Buy, Sell, and Trade. This is loading here. It takes quite a bit minute to load because there are so many groups out there. But when you click on it, you can see that some of them say join. Here's one for COVID-19. I'm just going to scroll on down through some of them. Here's pets lost and found. I can join that. And if it says join, all I have to do is just click and I'm immediately a member of that group. Some of the groups are kind of, I'll say, private groups, meaning that if it'll say request, meaning that I send this, it'll send a request for me to join this group. And I think all they do is basically verify that you really are interested in the group and not just a troll wanting to get on there and just push people's buttons or things like that. So go on the groups and find some groups that are similar interests with yours.
Cindy?
Yes.
So if you join, can you go in? Some places make it difficult for you to unjoin. Would that button just go to unjoin?
Let's go. It's not hard to unjoin at all. Let me go back up to my groups. Let's say I'm going to click on this and I don't want to be a member of it anymore. I can remove it. Trying to remember how to. I can't right off the bat. I'm not remembering how to go in and unjoin, but it's very simple to do. It's just that I can't remember. Here we go. Let's see, leave group right here.
So where did you,
There's three dots right here. When you open up the group, the 3 dots right here.
Thank you.
Usually when you see 3 dots on anything, it means it's more, it's going to open up another menu. So right here, you can review what you've sent or report the group or leave the group. I can just click on leave group right here. And then it verifies, do I want to leave? Yes, I want to leave. And so, boom, I'm no longer a member of the garage sale group.
And I have another question, like
Sure.
Lost and Found, is there a place to post in Lost and Found?
Oh yeah, you can post in any of these. Yeah, let's click on the Lost and Found and take a look here.
Before you leave groups, could you just tell me if they list all these groups, can you click on the picture or something to find out what this group is about? Or
Sure,
you just go in to join?
We'll take a look. I'll go click on one and we'll see what it shows. But here's your Lost and Found. And if you want to post something, again, you can add new. Click right here. Most all of these screens are self-explanatory, but if you click add new, then it would allow me to go in and post something about something lost or something that I found. Maybe I found somebody's keys in the road or something like that. You just go through here and fill out all the information, click post.
So my other question then is, I get this kind of stuff in the news feed. When you go in and post something like Lost and Found, will that automatically show up in the news feed?
It should, yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, so this is how everybody's posting all this stuff in the news feed, is they're going to these various places.
Yes, that's where you post everything, is in the news feed. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if can you just click on those 3 dots? I just am wondering what.
Right here?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what that.
Sure. You can hide the post. You can mute this particular person. Maybe you don't ever hear anything from them again. You can report it if it's inappropriate content. You can turn on a notification where every time somebody posts in regards to this, you get a notification, which would show up front here on this little bell. I see I have one notification here. You can do all this. You can change category if you think it's posted in an inappropriate category. You can share it with other people. You can bookmark it, tag it to all of these.
Thank you.
So the other question was going back to, I'm sorry, what was the other question to go back to? Oh, to the groups.
Yeah. yeah, if you see the name of the group, but how do you know what it's about?
Sure. Let's take a look. Let's click on one and see. Give it a minute to load again. I do believe it pops up into another, more information about that particular group. Okay, so let's see. Here's Free Stuff Houston. I'm going to click on the picture and let's see what it says. So actually all you see is how many members are here. The group location, this is for everybody all over Houston. So no wonder there's so many people that are members of it. And then it just takes off into the thread. So I guess if you wanted, actually, you could probably read some of these and see exactly what it's about. So that's probably not much help, but it's better than nothing, at least if you read through some of the posts to see what it's about.
When you go on through your phone and you open the app, it immediately asks you about turning notifications on. I don't turn notifications on. So what am I doing? What am I missing by not putting turn notifications on?
Let me dig deeper and follow up in the email with that. But what I do know is if somebody emails you, you won't get a notification of that. That's my understanding. If there's somebody that's interested in something you've posted for sale, and you don't have notifications turned on, you may not know that they've sent you a message or something to ask a question about it. But
I'm not sure. I think it might be that you won't get like a ding or a bell. You won't get a
sound,
an audio notification. I think you'll still get because I sold something on Nextdoor and I don't have my notifications turned on.
Okay, I will double check and follow up when the email.
Cindy, here's a thing. Welcome to this group. This group is a place to post items. You no longer, it does tell you what the group is about there.
Where did you find that, Amy?
It's right here at the bottom with the L. And it just says, welcome to this group. This group is a place to post. It's at the bottom of my screen. I don't know where it is on yours.
Oh gosh.
I'm not seeing it.
Well, okay.
And
sorry.
Are you, what group are you looking at, Amy?
Free Stuff.
Okay.
And it's at the bottom of the picture, or it's at the clear at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, it's a person that is called Liv Tong, and she uses L instead of her name. So it's just a person putting that.
But she is describing it.
And she, right. And odds are she is the owner of the group, because if you want to create your own group, then that probably, let's check another one and just see, let me go back a page and let's check another one and see if that first listing there is the owner of the group with an explanation on another group post also. Let's double check and see. So give it a minute to load again. Okay, so let's try Birds of Houston. I'm going to click on the bird here, and again, location. Here's it's a pinned post.
It had it up above.
It said welcome up above.
Yeah, you scrolled past it. There it is.
There it is. It's a bird-friendly community.
Right, underneath the picture, it's talking about it. So, and I guess that's where it tells you about it. Okay. All right, so one thing that I want to show you, gosh, the time gets away from us so much. One thing you want to do is go in here and it's actually two different places. Let me go ahead and pull up my iPhone screen so we can talk a little bit about that app. I want to show you where to go in to set your privacy as far as your actual physical address goes, or just your street name. Let me get connected here so I can mirror my screen and pull that up and share that. I'm going to stop this share. And hopefully you can all see my screen here, the phone right in the middle. Here's my Nextdoor app. I'm going to tap on the Nextdoor app. And this is what you're going to see. It takes you to your news feed right here in the middle. And down here on the bottom, in order to get to that main screen, you have to tap on the 3 little dots down here in the bottom right-hand corner. So when you get on that main menu, this will bring up your main menu. So when you're in here, the first thing you want to do is you want to go all the way to the bottom and tap on settings right here. And when you tap on settings, it's going to pull up information with account, feed preferences. You're going to want to go to go down to privacy right here. And when you tap privacy, the first thing you see will show my address as Prentice Drive or my exact address. So if I tap on that, it now shows my exact address. If I don't want to, I just fill in the radio button or tap on Prentice Drive, and it only shows my street that I live on. So that's the first thing you're going to want to do.
So mine's not coming up, Cindy.
Okay, when you tap your icon, do you come up to a news feed?
Yeah, no, I tap the 3 dots and I tap privacy policy, and it's just like trying to load. It's not, I'm not getting it.
And it's just, if it's just trying to load, it hasn't loaded yet. You're just going to have to give it time to load. I don't know if that could be internet speed, if it could be connection to Nextdoor. I don't know.
Okay, so it did finally load, but then I got the privacy policy and it doesn't show what you showed. It doesn't show that.
Okay, are you seeing this main menu here?
Yeah, and I tapped
Okay.
on privacy policy down below, like you said.
You tap on settings first.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you tap on settings, then you should see, that's not it. Let me go back. I tapped on help instead of that. So off the main menu, you tap on setting, then the third one down, it's not privacy policy, it's privacy. It's this one up here. It's not this one down here. So tap on this one right here, privacy.
Oh, okay. Okay. That could have been what I did.
Yeah, and then you should be able to see it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Where
But
is-
see, now
where
it
is-
has my street address.
Your street address on this setting right here, when you tap on settings and then you tap on privacy right here, the very first thing you see is show my address as 6945 Prentice or Prentice Drive. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to click on or tap on how you want it to be shown.
Okay, thank you. So you have the option of either your numeric address or just your street.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And on
Absolutely.
the next one where it has Garden Villas only or Garden Villas plus 11 nearby neighborhoods, mine has plus 25 nearby neighborhoods. So
Right.
You would tend to just put your area.
There's actually a place that you can go. It's up to you if you don't want to cover all of the neighborhoods that are bordering your neighborhood. You don't have to. Let me show you where to go in. If you're on the computer, you go down to neighbors. If you're on the app, you would go down to neighbors too. So I'm on the app doing this. When I tap on neighbors, it pulls up the screen right here showing my neighborhood, and it also, things are just loading a little bit slow here.
So at the bottom of what we were just looking at under privacy, it says, what settings can my neighbors see? And there's check marks there, but I don't, are you know what I'm talking about?
You should be able to uncheck those. As you go on down in privacy.
What settings can my neighbors see?
Right here. Let's see.
Yeah.
You can uncheck them.
Yeah,
You
no,
can't-
you can't. No, they can show you, see recommendations. Do you see the same things set on yours? I don't know what settings are on yours.
Yes,
but
that's
these
what
are
I see.
things, these are things that you can't change then. But see, the full address isn't showing, family and contact info. I don't even know where that is on here. I've never put any family or contact info in anywhere. I don't know why that's even showing. But yeah, these are things you can't change.
Can you go back to the neighborhood thing that you were just showing before
Sure.
this? Yeah.
Sure.
The
On the
map
phone?
that you were showing. Yeah.
Yes.
Where you said it shows yours, and then it also
Right.
shows you what.
This is, it's kind of easier to see on the computer than it is here. But if you notice, there's a way where you can either click on map or list. And if you click list, or actually have to tap, I get confused when I'm doing both. Let me see here. That's not where I want to be to show you how to set the neighborhoods. I believe it might be back under settings. Let me look real quick. Okay, when you go under settings, if you look here, it says nearby neighborhoods.
Right.
So you
Right.
tap on the nearby neighborhoods, and here it is showing a map of all of the your neighborhood will show up in orange. The ones you're following will show up in greenish color, and then these purple colors will be ones that you're not following. And you can actually turn them on or off right here by tapping on the little buttons beside it. And as you see, I just turned on Minitex, so it turned green. I'm following it now. I'm going to tap on
that's
Glenbrook
awesome.
Valley, and now I'm following Glenbrook Valley. So I can turn all of these on, in essence, to where I'm following every neighborhood that's adjacent to mine. And it shows up much better on the computer because you can see the entire map all at once. But this is where you want to go to set up what neighborhoods you want to follow.
Cindy, I'm sorry, but how did you get to settings? I'm looking on the app on the phone.
Okay, on the app, once you've opened up your main menu, scroll all the way to the bottom, and right here next to the help, right above the help, you tap settings. And once you tap settings, then you tap nearby neighborhoods.
Okay, now for some reason it's asking me, I already had an account and I must have done something and now it's asking me to create an account. Is there any way I can go back to the original account?
You just have to know your login, your email address and your login to log in.
Okay.
That's the original account that you would have. Okay, we're pretty much at the end here. What final questions can I answer for anybody before we end?
I have one. I've had it on my phone and not really ever responded to people, but I see messages when they come in. But I have my computer one open right now, and back on your subject of groups. I just clicked on a group when you were talking about it, and I see a posting in there that I'd like to reply to, and I can't see where I don't see like a reply.
Okay, let's you said you were on the computer, right?
Yes, I'm on my computer.
Okay, so let me pull over here. Let's see. Here's
any group.
Yeah, I'm going to open up one of them that it's going to take a minute here because there's so many.
I see a little spot where it says like that one person has commented, and then I see a share button, but I don't see anywhere where I would click to reply.
You would click on, you should see something like this little talk bubble. That's where you would click, and that should open up a message box for you to be able to reply. Let me.
Right next to, well, I see that talk bubble next to one comment, but nothing happens when I click on them.
Okay, actually I got off of. Let me get back. So here's a group right here. Let's see if I click on comments.
I'm not seeing anything on your screen other than I'm still seeing the settings. There you go. Now I see you.
Okay. Let me get back to that. Let's see. I think this was the page. So right here, I'm in, let's see, this is one of the groups. Let's help each other. So here's a comment. I can, of course, do the little like it, whatever.
Yeah, I don't even have that option.
All right. You don't see this on your,
I don't, no,
on
not
computer?
Yeah, and I'm scrolling down to several feeds in there. I don't see that like button on any of them.
Yeah, no, I don't know why that's missing on there. I really don't know. If I click on comments, let me see here. I think what it did was it opened up, there's 2 comments. Let me check this button. Nope. It's got a reply under here. So let's see if I click this reply. Is this what you're talking about? Where you want to reply to what Tricia said here? I'm not a billionaire, but yes, I want to be. First one. Up here?
Go up to the, well, let's see.
This is the one that's talking about. This is a pinned post. No, this is a pinned post, which I think is from, yeah. So let's say whatever this platinum battery. Right here, there's an open field. No, nobody's replied to this one yet. Nobody's replied to this one yet. But if you want to reply, do you see the field here where you can reply?
No, I don't have that. And I'm scrolling down to several people's places where they posted a comment, and I don't see a reply or an open field like you're talking about. Is that something in
Okay.
my settings that's not set?
Not that I'm aware of. The only thing I know to tell you is when I send the follow-up email with the help link in it, send them an email and ask them why you're not seeing any of that. I really don't know.
Okay.
You
When
can always
scroll, when you scroll down, do you see that I had comment blank under each one? If you scroll down your
Yes.
page a little further.
Yes. Now see right here, there's not one here. This is just an introductory thing, I guess. Well, yeah, no, there's not one, but here's, I'm sorry. Yes, it is. Here's someone that basically introduced themselves. And so Jimmy here made an entry. I can make an entry there. So it may not be the first thing right below there, but at some point in that string for that particular topic, there's a place to add a comment in each one of them. Like right here, nobody's commented yet, but I can comment if I start right there.
May I make a suggestion?
Man,
Absolutely.
Because I'm playing with it, and if you click on, see the like, comments, share, if you click on comment, do you not even have comment? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
It does, right. The little speech bubble, then it pops up for you to put a
Right.
comment into it. Yeah.
Right, so do you not even have that, Gloria?
I have the comments, but when I click on it, absolutely nothing happens. It doesn't go to anywhere.
Huh.
Okay. You might want to
It
try.
kind of shows, like I went down and I randomly selected another one, and I can see, like, this one says 5 comments, and it says, then there's a button below where it says see 4 previous comments. So
But
I
if
can
you-
open it up and see everybody that commented about it, but I can't find
No
a place
place for
where
you to
I can
comment?
comment about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's that way. You might want to
And-
try logging out and logging back in as an option. or
And I just want to
contacting them.
mention to people, because I've done this, sometimes I don't want to comment where everybody sees it, but I want to send a private message. So if you click on
Yes.
their name,
Yes,
it'll open up a place,
message
where-
box.
right, where you can just send a message to the person.
Right, like right
themselves.
here. If you click on the name right there, it opens up where you can just message this person.
Right.
And all you
Yeah,
have
I
to do is
can
open
see
that,
that,
and there's your
but
message box.
I think I would like to reply to where everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really don't know what to tell you. Follow that link and send them an email, or maybe try logging out and logging back in. Hopefully that would help.
How do you get
Okay.
off when you join something? How do you get off it?
When you join something like a group,
Yeah.
if you want to unjoin a group, let me see here. Go back to share this screen. Let me pull in groups and I'll click on one of my groups. Again, this will take a second for it to load. If you join a group, when you click on groups, it's going to actually show all the groups you're a member of over here on this side. So if you click on one of those groups, and I'm going to click on one, it's going to take it a minute here because it still hasn't finished loading. Now then I can click on it. It's trying to load right now.
Sheila, that noise
This
is
is the
coming
group.
from you.
This is that group that I just right here that I just joined. I mean that I just clicked on. I thought it was. Well, now I can't remember now that you asked me. That's the invite people.
So you know what this
I can't
seems like to
remember.
me? It seems like a lot of things where you should just get
Right
on
here.
and click around.
You have to.
You can't go
Actually,
wrong. You
actually
won't
to
screw anything up.
No, actually to unjoin, here's the 3 dots right here, right in the picture. And if you click that, here's where you actually leave a
Oh.
group right there.
Okay.
But yes, Laura, you are absolutely right. There is so much that you can do in Nextdoor. And like I said, I've been teaching this, I don't know how long now, and every class I learned something new. And you just have to get in there, surf around, and then you'll learn more about it. What you'll do is you'll learn the parts that you use the most. And then once you know that, then it will be more familiar to you. Yes,
Cindy, I
Donna
know
Marie,
we're
go
out
ahead.
of time. What does this 3 over from the what I would consider the bell, what does this do?
That tells you that you have notifications, and if you click on it, this is just notifying you of some of the most recent posts that have been posted out there. So,
And how do you get rid of those?
I think they go away after. I think after you view them or click on them, then I think they go away. They shouldn't show up in your notifications anymore.
Because I just did that. I had a bunch
Yeah.
of them and
Yeah.
I looked at them and then, but you
Yeah.
can't, but if I have some stuff that's archived, you can never get rid of the archived stuff. Is that correct?
I don't know. I'll see what I can find out about that and follow up. Archives, if you can delete archives. It may be that maybe the archived material stays out there for X amount of time and then automatically goes away. Surely Nextdoor does not have room on their servers to store everything for everybody forever. So I'll see what I can find out on that.
Thank you. Because I have stuff in there from months ago.
Oh, yeah.
That I just saw it just now. So.
Okay. I'll double check and see if I can find out anything, and I'll include that in the email.
Thank you.
When you're in settings, it says turn on notifications, and then it has update your settings to get notified, etc.
Okay.
You go into go to settings and then notifications.
Right here. Now we'll say what I just clicked on here. I'm sorry, I didn't show everyone. If you're on the computer, to get to those, you have to actually click on this little picture over here or the little green thing, and your settings is actually found here. Whereas on the app, it's actually found in the main menu. So here's where notifications is. On the app, let me see. It should be in your main menu under settings. It is. It's always under settings. So, right. And if you go to notifications and right here, this is part we didn't get the chance to talk about, but this is how you can set up with the notifications, what you're notified of and what you're not notified of. Okay.
Yeah, because it says, I'm on the phone and it says update your settings to get notified about urgent alerts, private messages, and other important activity.
Right.
So if you're selling something, it sounds like you would need to have that on.
You would, so that somebody can contact you or so that you would see that. I would assume so. I've never sold anything on there before.
Well, I have sold something on there, and what happened, because I have sold something on there and I got an email from the person. So not a notification, an actual email.
It was actually a message sent to you. Okay.
Yeah, saying we're interested in your sofa.
Okay, good. Yes, go ahead.
If I wanna find a painter and I go on Nextdoor, and do they give it out to other people and I get all like Home Advisor starts emailing me and calling me? Does that happen?
No, nobody's going to call you. If you go into let me just get to,
or email me.
They will either,
I don't know if it was on Nextdoor or not, but I'm getting calls from all over, or emails from all over with painters, or
you shouldn't be getting any calls unless somebody, I don't know how they would have found your phone number or whatever, but no.
Would they share what I write to another neighborhood?
I believe they possibly can. Not real sure on that one either. Don't have a exact answer for you on that. But if you go in here and just post something right here, like I'm looking for painters, and I'm right here, I'm at home. This is going to go to any neighborhood that I'm following. If I just go to Garden Villas and post it, it's just going to go to my neighborhood and post it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
And one more time, you said the map when it's green means what?
The map when it's green, that's the neighborhood you're following.
And the orange is actually my immediate area.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
And in the app, if you wanted to post something, I saw where I think, can you please show on both the laptop and tell in the app how to post something from scratch?
Okay. Here we are on the computer. If I just want to post something, I'm on my home page here. I want to post something. It's the very first thing I see right out here. Post a message of Interpol, right?
Okay.
And on the app, get to home. On the app, if you tap on the little green circle up in the top right-hand corner, it opens up another small menu
Okay,
that says post.
Gotcha.
You
Yeah.
can post, you can post an event, you can send a poll, whatever.
Thank you.
Sure. Ladies, I'm going to go ahead and end up in the class here. If you guys want to stay on and talk about other things on here for a little bit, I'll leave the session open for a while where you guys can go ahead and communicate and talk about, help others with other questions you may have. But I'm going to go ahead and drop off for right now. I just want to say thank you so much. This has been a great class.
Thank
A
you.
lot of good
Thank you.
information. And I really appreciate everybody's, all the interaction. It's been great class. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cindy. You were great.
Thank you, Cindy.
You bet.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ladies.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye. I just
Motion.
wanted to, I would just, are you going off? Cindy,
You're-
or are
no.
you staying on?
You're
Go ahead.
still on. I'm still on.
Oh, okay. No, I just thought you were just amongst the group as opposed to, it isn't a question for you.
Okay.
It has to do with the group.
Okay.
Oh, are you staying on, Cindy? I thought you were going.
I'm actually looking on here. I have to make somebody else a new host to leave off, but I can stay on for a little bit if anybody else has anything else.
I just want to say, it's tough to do this with so many people. And I know I always have a lot of questions and I thought you did a great job. So thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Well, no,
Yeah,
it always
I have
makes it better. Go ahead.
I've taken a few of these and I just wonder, is it better to let people ask all questions while you're going along as opposed to having a script of what you want to cover? Because I just wonder if it sort of runs away in all different directions. Do you get to cover everything that you wanted
Yes,
to cover?
I covered everything that I wanted to cover in this meeting, not necessarily in the order I wanted to. I'm an educator by background, and sometimes I find that the best opportunity for learning is when somebody asks it. So that's why I like to try and address it when somebody asks. Now, this is going to vary, Carol, it's going to vary from guide to guide. Some guides don't want any questions asked until they're at the end of it, and we just have to figure that out because the dynamics of every class is different, and we just have to figure it out and try to keep it centered to where we still cover everything. I was able to cover everything that I wanted to cover. Depending upon the time there is in the class, sometimes I go into a little more detail on all of those menu items. But yes, I was able to get everything covered. And generally speaking, the questions that came up in this class, that's the bulk of what I want to teach anyway.
And that's why I asked you how you wanted
Yes.
questions. I think it's helpful when the
Yes.
teacher expresses at the beginning how they would like people to ask.
Right. And I think I did at the very beginning. I said, just everybody jump in at any point in time, Now what some people can do, or what I would have done if I thought it had gotten totally out of control and I was losing everybody, I would have stopped and said, okay, everybody, I'm going to put everybody on mute. I'm going to go ahead and follow through with all the stuff I want to throw out at you. Then I'm going to unmute everybody and we can just have at it. So you kind of have to just kind of gauge the classes as you go.
Yeah, that was what I was expecting. And I've gone to a few classes and I think only one of them did it that way. And I'm just not used to everybody asking questions all over. And
right.
But you've been doing it long enough that you know what works. And I think that it's a good suggestion to ask how you want to handle this, because this really puts it out there to let everybody know without being rude. Hold your questions.
Exactly.
If a person likes to go through their routine,
exactly,
and then take the questions.
Right. And I'm flexible both ways. That's why I like to tell everybody, we want everybody to interact when we're on these questions. But yes, it can get run away. It can run away from you if you don't. But and in my opinion, I felt like we were staying on track, and I was still able to get my information out there. If I came to a point where I couldn't, I was going to say, hang on, and this class, especially out of all of them that I teach, because so many people want to look at the app and they're on their app and I'm explaining something on the computer. And there are some times where I have to say, okay, hang on here. I'm going to show you everything on the computer. Watch what I'm showing you. And then we're going to look at the app, and then it'll make more sense to you, because otherwise they really don't get anything from the class when we do it.
No, that was very helpful that you did that.
Yeah.
Although that gal in the beginning, I would have just directed her straight to next door instead of trying to help her, because that's one person and not the whole class.
And I've had classes that go both ways. Absolutely. Yeah. It's tough. Honestly, there are some people that sign up to be a guide with us, and they'll do 1 or 2 classes and they'll say, oh no, I can't do this. I can't, I can't, go ahead, Donna Marie.
I'm sorry, quick question. I'm calling from California.
Yeah.
And I thought the class started at 3 o'clock. I thought when you signed up for classes that it automatically changed time. It doesn't do that?
No, it should. When you sign up for a class, you should be getting it in your time zone. If you're not, send an email to help. Go ahead, Laura.
I would like to address that because last week I'm in Arizona. We never change time. And I signed up for something and it was over. It was just finishing when I got in. So I actually called Get Set Up and I didn't get anybody. But what happened was I actually had, that was my very first class. I didn't get to it. Then there was a class an hour and a half later when I got into that class. And I had mentioned in my phone call that I had signed up for 2 classes. Somebody from Get Set Up actually came, I believe, into the class just to message to chat me and tell me that there was an issue, that they were having an issue with that and they were working on it. So that was helpful. So today, when I was going to sign up for this class, I went into the Get Set Up chat and I said about the time issue I had and had that been resolved. And the person I was chatting with from Get Set Up said, yes, it will be, it's what Cindy said, it's supposed to be in your time zone. So if you have another issue, I would suggest that you call them and have somebody, get back to you.
Yeah.
So I was pretty impressed with the responsiveness of Get Set Up.
Yeah, they aren't very responsive, and there's a lot of, you can email that help anytime about any questions. I know one of the other things that we have issues with sometimes is people aren't getting the follow-up emails. First thing we do, of course, is have them check their spam folder. If it's not there, then I always tell them, you've got to email help and let them know. And then sometimes also I'll take their name and I'll let them know in my emails to them. And I'll say, hey, this person's not getting their follow-up emails because but yes, they're very responsive and they've got a lot of people that are working with support. And mostly there's usually somebody at the beginning of every class from support that's actually in the meeting, and then they stay on for about 5 minutes or so in case anybody's having trouble with their audio or their video's not working or something like that. So they try to do that.
I have a comment and a question. My comment is, I think you're like a 20-year-old with how quickly you speak and process information and how clear you are in your communication. Seriously, usually the younger people talk so freaking fast and it's hard to even understand.
That's the teacher experience.
How long has Get Set Up been around?
Get Set Up started in 2018, I think, late 2018, late 2019, or maybe February, March 2019. And then when COVID hit, man, it just ramped up really in a big hurry because everybody was at home.
Is it worth it to keep checking offerings because there are enough new offerings all the time that you can find new things?
In my opinion, there are. And in fact, what we're constantly trying to work on is coming up with new classes. That's why we always ask you guys to send us info on classes you'd like to see. I've got 4 or 5 that I teach. And right now we're trying to come up with even some more. I teach one on email scams. I teach one on how to get groceries delivered to your home. I teach another one on audible.com, how to use the Audible book site. So we all have, several that we teach, and there are a lot of them that we teach over and over, for example, like Zoom, so that people can learn how to use Zoom and just actually see the meetings. So,
Cindy,
but yeah.
I may have missed is there a phone number? I may have missed it because I was trying to get on.
On the website itself, getsetup.io, I believe there is a phone number for support on there. I don't have it. I have a guide support number, but I believe there's a support number on there. Yeah.
So just go to nextdoor.com.
I'm sorry?
Go to nextdoor.com.
Oh, for support? Yes, you can find it, but let me send you the link to it because I had to dig to find the link on how to contact them. It's not easy to find.
Can you send it to me, or can you include the phone number in your follow-up email? That would be awesome.
Sure, I'll do that.
Appreciate it.
Sure. All righty, I will do that.
Carol,
thank you, guys.
Carol is trying to talk, but she's muted.
Oh, you mean?
Whoops. Okay. I had an issue where I got my shingles shot, and that really knocks the hell out of you. And I had some schedule, and I was flat on my back, and I felt very bad that there's no place to cancel. So I ended up calling up, and I also sent an email. Is there a place that you can cancel, and do they really care whether
Yes.
There is a place. If you go in, the very first email that they sent you has a cancel button.
Yeah, it does. If you want to cancel, you can cancel it.
Yeah.
What do you mean the very first email? You mean the very, very, very first email, or
well,
when you sign up?
As soon as you register for a class, they send you an email confirming that. I always save that one because it has the link to where if you have to cancel it. Okay. I don't think the one that comes out like the morning of and the hour before, I don't think that has a cancel button in it.
Correct.
But I think you can also go into your online account and see your classes listed there, and it has a cancel button.
Right.
And if you don't cancel, I'm guessing it's not that big of a deal because it's on Zoom.
Well, true. I mean, we like to know, so it helps us gauge on if we're going to have 50 people in a class or 5 people in a class.
Some of them are limited.
They are, and they are. Right. You're absolutely right.
And
there's some of them.
Some have waiting lists.
Yes. Yes.
So is it possible to see, like, is there a place where you can click on an instructor and see all the classes that instructor teaches, if you happen to like an instructor?
They're working on that. Yeah, they're working on that because there are a lot of people that like certain instructors, and they're working on setting that up where it's much easier. Instead of having to scroll through everybody to see who teaches what, you can go into that instructor. So I understand that's something that they're working on because they've had a lot of people ask for that.
So I'm still not clear, if I did not save that initial email like Gloria suggested, how do I cancel a class?
I'll put that in the follow-up. Go ahead, Gloria.
I think if you go into your account, it'll view all the classes that you are currently signed up for.
Yeah.
And in there, if you look at that particular class, there's a button in there where you can cancel it.
Okay, thank you.
Right, right.
And there's some cognitive dissonance for me. Carol is wearing a tank top. Gloria has snow, and it snowed here today where I am, and it's so weird.
Well, I'm in Alaska and I'm not wearing a tank top yet, okay?
You're in Alaska.
I have about 5 feet of snow in my front yard yet.
Oh my
God. I'm wearing a tank top because I just took an exercise class. I'm in New York, and I wouldn't go outside dressed like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm in Arizona. I'm high, so we have 4 seasons, and it snowed this morning. So.
Oh wow. It's 80 degrees outside at my place, so
where
it's kind of hot. I'm in Houston.
Oh, Houston, that's right. Of course.
Right.
I lived outside of Houston.
Did you? Where?
I moved to California from Manville.
Oh yeah, I know where Manville lives. I have friends that live down there. Yeah.
Yeah, worked at the University of Houston.
Oh yeah. I'm actually over by Hobby Airport, so I'm not far from there either.
As soon as I saw your map, I was like, she's not local. She's in Houston.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Well, thank you very much. I have to go check out some elderly parents.
Okay.
Bye,
thank you so much. Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Cindy,
this has been great.
I like your virtual background.
Oh, thank you. This is some backgrounds that they set up. They have a blue one. They have a white one, I think. They're trying to get us to all kind of look alike. We want to kind of brand everything. So I'm trying to get used to seeing it. It's kind of weird. You can tell because sometimes things fade in and out.
And do you get paid for these classes?
Yes, ma'am. We do. If you would be interested in being a guide or teaching something or an interest group, send them an email and let them know.
But I'm thank you. But my question is, how do you teach like a quilting? You mentioned quilting. So on Zoom, how would you teach that?
There are some classes that are taught they have their video set up and they're actually showing things. There's actually one class that is, it's actually a line group dancing class, and she sets everything up and she's in the back of the room doing the dance, and she's got her camera on her, and you're at home watching and you can dance right along with it. So some of the classes actually are showing things like maybe crafting class, showing you how to do something. Yeah, it's people are very innovative with how to teach these things.
You know, COVID,
Yeah.
of course, has been a scourge, but also it has been a blessing in so many ways that I think and hope will continue
Yeah.
once things open up again, like for
Yeah.
stuff like this.
Yeah, Get Set Up isn't going to go anywhere. There's so many people that are homebound even before COVID hit. There's so many people that need this. I live alone even, and I have a tendency to just be happy staying in the house with my exercise equipment and my dog, you know? So it's good. This is good for me to make me interact with other people. I spent many years as I'm an x-ray tech as well as a teacher. And so I was a director over a group, an imaging group in one of the larger hospitals here in Houston. So you have to learn how to think quick on your feet and everything. But anyway, that's where I come from.
So I came to Get Set Up through my YMCA because I'm a member. So how else do people get to Get Set Up?
Get Set Up, well, if they happen upon it, but Get Set Up works with companies, with senior citizen groups, with like the state of Michigan. They work with the state of Michigan that have aging centers or things like that. And they work with those centers to offer these classes free to people in their state or their community or the Y or something like that. That's kind of how they
nobody
operate.
pays for this. We don't pay for this,
No,
except for
individual-
through our affiliations.
Right. Right.
Okay.
There's a contract in place between the Y and between Get Set Up, and yeah, that's how it. Right.
Is Get Set Up just for seniors, or it's for anybody?
I think they say people age 50 and over. So I mean, you know, but as far as, you know, I don't know that they would turn anybody away, but probably most of the younger people don't know about it because of the groups that they are affiliated with. But
And I
yeah.
just recently got an email from ARP, who has set up their own Get Set Up, their version of Get Set Up.
There are a lot of companies, since Get Set Up has been out there, that are starting to do the same thing. And actually, I became a guide because of something I saw in ARP magazine. It said, if you're interested, do this. So actually, the first class I ever taught was on understanding your radiology exam when you go to the hospital. So that's how I got started with it, was through ARP. And yes, there are a lot of other communities that are starting to do this. Yeah.
Well, and this is one place where I think competition is a good thing, because you can never have too many things you can learn.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
There's so much available for seniors. I'm shocked. I mean, you know, I'm in my 70s and I'm connected to all sorts of things. So it's wonderful.
What else are you connected to, Carol?
Well, I'm connected through Help Advocates for Older People has wonderful classes. JASA has, I'm Jewish, so JASA has things, they're all for free. And
what is
JASA? Jewish adults, senior something, JASA. Okay. And if you get on their newsletter, that's how I found out about this. And I'm sure you don't have to be Jewish to get it.
But no shock, the two most verbal people on this Zoom class were both Jewish. I am also Jewish. You know how verbal we are. Yeah. So Help Advocates for what?
Oh, HAFOP, Health Advocates for Older People, I think is what it stands for.
HAFOP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they send out Lenox Hill. I live in Manhattan. So there's senior centers. If you just go onto the senior centers, a lot of them have classes. If you go onto their link, they'll show you the classes, and everything's for free. You don't, I take wonderful, they have chair yoga and chair dancing, and you know, they just have all sorts of things, current events, everything. So it's wonderful. And then I have a personal question. I turn my camera off and have my picture when like I was making something to eat, and I didn't want to be distracting. And so my question is, to both of you, is it better to be walking around and have the person see the person, or is it better to just turn off your camera and just have my photo there?
As a teacher, to me, when somebody's moving around and I'm seeing ceilings and whatever, it's a little bit distracting. I don't mind whatsoever if people just have pictures there. And there's a lot of people that they come in and out. Like you said, they may be eating lunch or something like that, and they'll, you know, put their picture up while they're eating, and then they'll come back on, and or a dog barks or somebody comes to the door, whatever. I'm easy. It can go either way to me, but it is a little distracting if I'm looking at a ceiling fan and then I see a floor and then I see, yeah.
And I will respond to that because I'm part of another organization where I'm on a Zoom meeting at least an hour every day, if not more. And when people are moving around and being very unconscious, it's the unconsciousness, and it is distracting, especially if they're moving from one room to another or cooking. So what I'll do is I might leave my camera on, and other people do this, pointing at the chair I might have been sitting in, or pointing it to the ceiling so people know that I'm there. And I'll just move out of camera range and turn my mute on, put my mute on. I think, there's
Good
ways to handle that, where I think the only thing that's a no-no is the moving around.
Yeah.
I was in one group. Well, one is a life coach group of just women that, anyway, one of the gals actually took off her robe and started getting into the bathtub.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Well, it was only women, but
that's scary.
Well,
Yeah.
that's how, who was it? He resigned. I'm trying to,
right.
the politician didn't know he was, he was fondling himself, and, oh no, it was a newsman. And,
Yeah.
big trouble. You can get into big trouble.
And then sometimes even during these meetings, you have to know how to quickly get to the mute all button, because sometimes there'll be an argument going on. Okay, wait a minute here. Let me mute everybody. Yeah. Zoom's been.
And so, Cindy, cause I do a lot on Zoom. If you go to participants, you can tell who's talking because their microphone will be flipping up and down, and you can just mute that one person. That is something that I wish that everyone would do who's in charge of any kind of a Zoom meeting and you did it, is to ask people to please mute themselves, or specifically say to the person, if you can identify, because that noise would have shown up in her microphone.
Right.
And if you figure out who it is, to say, or you can even chat the person, could you please mute yourself? That works well too.
Right. I do that a lot of times. I have one class that I teach is a social hour, and it's brain games. And so I used to teach it where I start out where I muted everybody, because I would have maybe 50 people on it, and you get all kinds of noise and stuff. So I would mute everybody and tell everybody, from the beginning of that class, I'm going to mute everybody. When you want to speak, unmute yourself, speak, and then mute yourself back again. So
is that on Get Set Up that you're teaching brain games?
It is. I usually have one once a week. I didn't have one this week. I had some others, but
because I thought about doing, what kind of, are they logic things or no?
Actually, there's two. There's one taught by Donna, and it's called Brain Games, and then the one I do is Social Hour Brain Games, and I play Kahoot games online. It's an online gaming. We have a blast playing Kahoot, and I do some word rebus problems and things like that, where we try to determine what these words are meaning or whatever. And I've gotten to where I've pretty much left it on just so we can all talk and hear and laugh, and it's just such a blast. But
what time? That sounds wonderful. What time are those at?
Laurie, it varies. I've been doing them on Saturday afternoons, like around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. But I don't know, like I said, you're just going to have to see if it's out there and when, until they get it set up to where you can, look for a guide and what they're teaching. But it just kind of varies. My schedules, the classes that I teach, they all stay the same, but then the social hour kind of varies a little bit. But then the others are I may teach 2 or 3 Kahoot classes over a period of 4 days, or I may teach a combination of all of them throughout the week, or it just kind of varies. What they try to do is they try to schedule everything so that there's a variety of stuff out there, and you guys aren't just seeing the same thing over and over and over again, which makes good sense.
So I have another question, which is sometimes I'm concerned that I'm too, talking too much or too dominant. I guess I'm just checking that out with you. Did I ask too many questions? And then I have another question.
To me, no. Now, to some of the other guides that maybe couldn't handle it, they may have gotten flustered or lost or whatever, but it doesn't.
You're only my second. You're only my second.
Well, I mean, I enjoy it because it challenges me also. It challenges me in 2 ways: to find the answer to the question they're asking, and then also it challenges me to control the class. So,
And so
you know,
that is my other question is if you, not just you, but like in that social hour, do you have people who are dominating, and how do you handle that? Because that's one of my biggest concerns of coming to these kinds of things.
I've not really had anyone that's really been dominating like that. Today's class, I have to admit, this class was probably the most challenging I've done with Nextdoor, because you all were such good learners and wanting to know everything. So what I did immediately is I saw everybody was wanting to learn something different at the same time. You have to be able to switch gears and say, okay, it's an opportunity here. I need to switch over here and do this because they're asking it now. Now let me go back to this. And so y'all kept me going the whole class. So you have to have that flexibility when you do it, or else you get frustrated and it's like, I don't know how to handle all this. So yeah, it just comes with practice. You just have to jump in there and make mistakes and learn from them. That's all there is
And
to
in the
it.
social hour, and also what is Kahoot? Can you briefly describe Kahoots?
Sure. What Kahoot is?
By the way, you did a great job of handling everybody.
Yeah,
Of juggling.
Well,
You really
thanks.
did. And I didn't, and Lori, I didn't think you asked too many questions.
Yeah, no.
They were good questions.
You
Thank
can't,
you,
there,
Cheryl.
yeah.
I appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
You can't ask too many questions, honestly. And in fact, an hour before this class, I had a class on groceries and there was not one question asked. So it dragged on and on and on. And I kept stopping and saying, any questions? Is everyone good? Does anybody have anything they want to bring up? Or yeah, it took forever. It was like a 4-hour class in 1 hour. It was just very long, very long.
Kahoots.
Oh yes, Kahoot. It's an online game system, and it came into being really. It's been out there for a while, but when COVID hit, teachers started teaching remotely. They were actually using Kahoot to play games or actually to learn. And what it is, it's a multiple choice question. It's an online interactive gameplay. You use a second smart device, and you actually are answering questions on the device. And then on the Zoom screen, it shows up who answered the quickest and the fastest, and it keeps score. And
really,
yeah, and it's a lot of fun. We have a beginner class for Kahoot, and we have an advanced class for Kahoot. And then I had used some Kahoot games on the social hour too.
That sounds like to me like a lot of fun. Does that show up in the menu as Kahoot or under social hour?
Both. If it's a social hour brain games where we play all kinds of games, and I do include some Kahoot in that, it will show up that way, or it will show up as Kahoot for hosting, advanced, or beginner. And let me see if I'm looking at my schedule right here. Actually, Thursday, I'm doing a class on email scams, and I have at 5 p.m. now, I'm Central Time, 5 p.m. I have a Kahoot for hosting. This is the advanced class, but I have a lot of people that are beginners that get into it, and I just make sure they at least know how to play. So
I will be looking for that, and I'll be looking for you because I think you're a terrific teacher, and I'm a tough sell, and I suspect Carol is too. And we both think that you really did a great job. I attended one other class where she could not handle as well, and it wasn't. I can't even remember what the class was. Yeah. I wanted it. What the hell was it? I'm also, a senior. So, sometimes.
But one thing about it is you help us learn how to teach these classes too. And the people that are not used to teaching, like I said, I've basically taught one way or another all my life, from public schools to colleges, whatever, but you have to realize that, and it's hard. You're being looked at as the expert on this. I'm no expert on Nextdoor. I'm no expert on email scams. I just gather knowledge and try to share what I know. And so you have to get used to that. But by you asking those questions, we have some meetings sometimes, and people will ask, well, how do you handle a class when someone is kind of running away with it, asking so many questions, and we all have input, and basically my input is you just have to learn. You just have to learn how to handle it and reel everybody back in to where we're back in the main subject, And
but some people just don't have a clue how to do that. So I do have it's an Nextdoor thing. You don't have to answer it now if you don't want to, but how to mute, how to drop a person who you don't like there, I mean, I have figured out how to do that, but I would have liked a little more advanced, like somebody who's too political for you and you don't like what they're posting. So how do you mute? I assume mute means you never hear from them again. Right?
I believe you can mute a post or you can mute this, right? Because it'll say, like, let's say it's Bob Jones and you don't like his post. The 3 little dots out beside from his post, you can say mute Bob. And then I don't think you ever hear from Bob again. We had a guy like that in our neighborhood. He actually got kicked off and they took away his access because he was who was an ex-city councilman or something, and he just kept causing problems. So they kicked him off.
Can you change your mind? Can you, if you wanted to, could you say repost Bob?
I think so. I'm thinking that once you click to where you say mute Bob, then if you ever saw another post of his, or you could go back and click, it would change to an unmute option.
Okay, so
that's my guess.
Are you okay if I ask you a couple more questions?
Yeah, sure.
So another one is sometimes the post has been removed and maybe it was political or whatever. And I've gotten the email and then I'll look at the email later in the day. And by the time I get to it, the post has been removed. Right. So that's the people who are constantly reviewing, and they can remove a post, or can the person remove their own post?
I believe you can, because I know if you're selling things, if after a while it doesn't sell, you can go in there and take it off. Now I will say, there is an administrator for each neighborhood, and then there are moderators for each neighborhood. The moderators, they'll call them leads or moderators. There's a way you can find out who your moderator is. If you just go into neighborhoods and pull up all the neighbors, there's 3 tabs at the top, and one of them says leads. And if you click on that leads tab, it tells you who your leads are. So if you see a post from Bob Smith that you don't like or whatever, you can report that post to the lead and let them review it and make a decision as to whether it needs to be removed or not. If it needs to be removed, or if they think it needs to be removed, they'll let the administrator know. I think only the administrator can remove posts and delete people's accounts.
Okay, so my next question is, sometimes when I go in and I click on, I want to see all the replies, because there's a lot of things I want to see what everybody sees, because I live in a relatively small town. It'll take me to the next tab if I'm on the computer. It'll open a tab, or it'll open on the app, it'll open the Nextdoor app. And then the replies, I have to work really hard to get all those replies. Like it'll say, 75 replies, but when I click on that, so I don't really understand it's part of what is so annoying for me about Nextdoor, because it should be a smoother experience. That should be a smoother
no, I agree. And there's a lot of times there's so much what I'll call trash or whatever in my news feed. It's like, I don't want to see all of this. I just want to see. So that's why it's helpful to have tracking on for your posts where you're notified anytime, that there's a reply to your post or whatever. But yeah, no, let me see what I can find out about how to. Yeah,
I'm a really private person, and
same here.
Yeah, it's annoying to me that my address has to be on there. I understand your explanation. We don't have to go over it again, but like I said, I live on a relatively short street, and so But anyway,
Well, hopefully, when you went in and set that, nobody would ever see it, and I don't think it's viewable to everyone because of the way that you said it. So that's why I usually.
But my star on the map.
Oh yeah,
I'm on the corner.
Yeah,
I mean,
they know who you are. Yeah, they know where you are.
Right.
Yeah,
they know. Right.
Yeah, and that's something I never thought about till you brought it up. But yeah, you're right. Especially if it's a small neighborhood and you're, like you said, you're on a corner and the stars there. Yeah, that could be a problem.
It's a this for me.
It is.
I really like the information that I can get in Nextdoor, and I don't like being known. And I guess I've made the decision that I'd rather, but that's why I asked you about, data mining. And if they're selling the information to other people, any of that stuff.
Right.
And you know that.
I don't think they are. Like your private information that I'm aware of, they don't. That's another something that I can look at, because if they are, I'll tell you what, there's a place you can go in and see the membership agreement in there. There is a membership agreement that you
Yeah,
sign
that
up
was
to.
that privacy policy thing I
Yeah,
pulled up,
but
and I
there's-
should
but
read
there's-
it again.
Yeah, there's
But
a
that
whole
doesn't
big.
mean, you know better than that. I mean, we
It
are tech savvy. I'm tech savvy enough to know that none of that matters.
Right,
If,
right.
you know, there's breaches, there's.
Right. But absolutely. But I'm thinking they, the breaches, you can't stop that. I mean, but absolutely it should say in there how they deal with your private data. That's something good that I'll look up and maybe include in other classes, because so many people that I have, that's why they've never gotten on Nextdoor. They're concerned about the privacy, and we have some weird neighbors around here. You don't want them to know where you are, who you are, so you got to be careful. You can't be too safe.
Especially in Houston, yeah, or Manhattan. I
Or
mean,
anywhere nowadays. Yeah. Anywhere. Yeah.
You're muted again, Carol. I don't know why you keep getting muted, but.
Well, because I have a fan in the background and I don't want you to hear the fan.
Okay.
I just said I got to go now, and it's been wonderful. I got a lot out of it. And Lori, if you want to know those names, my email is just Carol5.
Hang on. I thank you. Carol.
CAROL 525@verizon.net.
Thank you, Carol. I would enjoy connecting with you.
You guys are great. This has been the most special class that I have had, and I've been doing this since last summer. This is just
wow.
Y'all have helped me so much. Thank y'all so much.
Okay.
Giving back is the best, right?
Exactly.
So glad that we could give back to you.
My pleasure to meet you guys.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Cindy.
We'll see you again.
Okay.
Bye, Carol.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, you're still there.